Welcome to this brand new Blender tutorial, which isn't even Blender, it's Bforartists. God, I'll get there one day. And so we're going to show you how to composite a green screen video inside of Bforartists, a free open source program, which is for Blender, blah 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 blah. You probably already know that. If you don't, then why are you even watching this tutorial? Okay, press add a new tab, or composite, blah blah blah, you know the drill. Go to use nodes. When we see these nodes appear, this is the composite, this is the equivalent of the render, this is anything that's plugged into it will be shown in the output of the render tab. We can delete this render layers because that's everything to do with the 3D view, but we don't have anything in the 3D view and we don't need to use this, so just delete it and you'll be fine. Now we're gonna need our movie clip, which we're gonna get by typing in movie clip in the search bar by pressing Shift A and this tap search and right. And now we're gonna load up our movie. The video that I'm using is an old render I did back in Blender 2.8, and you can find it on Pixabay for free at Robot Studios on Pixabay. It's here. It's just a rotating spaceship that you can chroma key out. I have a bunch of chroma keyable videos down here. You can download them for free. It's completely, whether you're using it for commercial or personal usage, it's free to download and use, even if you get money from it. Doesn't matter. So now what? Well, now we need to see what we're doing. So to do that, we can press Control. You can click on the movie clip and press Control Shift and click on the movie clip. And you'll get a viewer node that appears automatically plugged in, and if your thingy is like zoomed in or zoomed out, you can just press fit to fit it to the to your window. And now we want to key out this green grossness. So to do that, we need to search for a keying. We need to search for the keying node that can also be found in Shift A matte keying. There are a bunch of other options to cut out images and things like that, and we're not going to be using any of them in the future, but if you want to know where they are, almost every node to do with cutting out images or chroma keying and things like that, they're all in the matte category. Now, as you can see, it's automatically plugged into the viewer node socket. It's in between the render, the movie clip, and the viewer node, which is not exactly what we want. It's only half there. If it's not plugged into the render layers here, then it won't be rendered. It will just be rendered normally. So you make sure it's plugged in both to the composite, and to the viewer node. Once we've got that, we can see that even if you don't understand all these complicated nodes, you don't need to use most of them. The only ones that you need to use are the image, which your movie will be plugged into, because that is the source of the video I want to render. And we have the key color, which is in this case white, so it's got rid of all my white reflections on the spaceship. So we can set this color to a solid green. And since I rendered this video myself in Blender, I know that the green is pure, 100% green. And to get that result, I went into RGB, because it usually by default it's HSV. So I went to RGB, for red, green and blue. Took the red down to 0, took the blue down to 0, and we have a solid green. And that should get rid of all of the chroma key, all of the green color. We can augment the blur a bit to like 2 maybe. Wait for it to composite down here, as you can see, and it's looking smooth and good. The frames are not always. This animation was 250 frames long. I know that because I made it, but your animation will probably be different length, so you'll probably just have to scroll along and wait for it to update every time to see how long your animation is. When you find out, you'll just type in the amount of frames of the length of your animation. Okay, when that's out the way, we have our chroma keyed animation. It's a 4K video, so it's lagging my computer a little bit, but it's okay. Now, to render this out, you're going to need to go to Eevee, and I like to go to Cycles, personal preference, GPU, because it's my graphics card and it's faster. Set the number of render frames samples to 1. Set the number of viewport samples to 1. And I just, out of habit, just press adaptive sampling because it's awesome. Probably doesn't do anything, I don't know. Not in this case anyway, because we're working with a movie clip, which has a predefined resolution. That's a good point. I'm gonna go to my resolution tab and make sure the resolutions are to my liking. They must be under the amount of resolution that you downloaded it with, because this is 2K. I downloaded it at 4K and I'm gonna leave it converted it at 2K. And let's get our output source file folder format. And we don't want a PNG image, we want a video, so we're going to movie category. And we don't want these super high data consuming AVIs. We want the FFmpeg with the MP4 container, and we go down to perceptually lossless. We're going to open the output directory and select a file output. I'm just going to leave it in the TMP because we're going to select our output folder name and we press enter. Make sure, like I said, the resolution is the same as the video you rendered, unless you know what you're doing and you want a lower resolution like I am. If not, just stick to the standard resolution. And if you don't know what the resolution of your image is, let me just show you. You can go into your files on Windows. You can go into where you stored your video. You can right click, go into properties, details, and now you have your resolution. And now you all need to do is to render out the animation and you will be done.